Hey, this is Todd with Living in Daytona Beach. And today, it's the pros and cons of living in Holly Hill, Florida. Let's get to it. Hey, if this is the first time to the channel, go ahead, hit subscribe and the bell so you never miss a thing about living in Daytona Beach or the surrounding areas such as Holly Hill, Florida. Today, we're going to talk about the pros and cons of Holly Hill, Florida. We're going to talk about things such as crime, talk about homes for sale in the area, talk about the weather, the schools. We're going to talk about the cost of living, green spaces such as parks, commute, and jobs. So let's get to it. Well, the first thing we want to talk about when talking about Holly Hill, Florida, is where in the world it's located at. Well, it's located in Florida, obviously, but it's also located in the county of Volusia, which is on the east coast of Florida. Now, more precisely, it is exactly 2.5 miles north of Daytona Beach, Florida, and it is about 60 miles to the northeast of Orlando, Florida. So now you know exactly where Holly Hill, Florida is located at. Now, Holly Hill has a population below 13,000 people. So the first thing I want to do is look to see what kind of homes are available in the area. And if you're moving to Holly Hill, this would be a great spot to start. Now, we'll get to cost of living later on in the video, but to start things out, Holly Hill is typically less expensive than other of the surrounding areas. Is there a reason for that? No, not really. Now, we are going to talk about crime, cost of living, talk about other factors that go into what makes Holly Hill so different from other areas. But to start things out, inexpensiveness of homes. For instance, you can get a home such as this for $80,000. Now, granted, it needs a lot of work inside and outside, landscaping and whatnot. But granted, you are getting a home that's 2-bedroom, 2-bath, and a little over 1,100 square feet. Not too bad for a home for $80,000. So if you are an investor or get a house up to spec and speed and where you can make it completely livable and comfortable, then maybe Holly Hill is a place for you. But let's say you want to not do as much work. There's tons of different properties available in Holly Hill, such as this property here. It's a gorgeous home, 2-bedroom, 1.5 bath, over 1,300 square feet, $245,000. Now that's kind of right in the range of homes and the mid-range of homes that are for sale in Holly Hill, where you can always look at a home such as this right here. Another gorgeous home, 3-bedroom, 2-bath home, over 1,400 square feet, and is $349,000. And last on our list for homes, now this is what's really cool about Holly Hill, is that although you have this heavy neighborhood structure, city type feel structure, also the east side of Holly Hill is bordered by the Halifax River. So you guessed it, you can buy a home on the Halifax like this one. 4-bedroom, 2-bath home, close to 2,300 square feet, excellent view of the Halifax River, and comes in about $640,000. So as you can see, there's tons to choose from when it comes to availability and affordability in Holly Hill, Florida. So what is the cost of living in Holly Hill, Florida? Well, this particular subject, cost of living, actually is a pro and a con. And we're going to look at specifics in cost of living. For one thing, we're going to look at the Florida income tax. We'll look at the Florida sales tax. Take a peek at groceries, healthcare, transportation, and utilities. So let's break that down right now. So Holly Hill actually ranks with an A+. I'm getting this information from areavibes.com, so don't hold it against me. So what is the median income for those that live in Holly Hill, Florida? It's just below $43,000 per year. Now, what is the sales tax in Holly Hill, Florida? Well, it's like any other place in Florida. It is 6%, and there's no added city tax, so it stays right at 6%. What is the state income tax for Holly Hill, Florida? Well, just like the rest of Florida, guess what? It is 0. There is no state income tax. You're welcome. So what about things such as goods and services? And how do they rank? Well, just a few things, such as a haircut is going to cost you about 33% less in Holly Hill than in the rest of the country. Toothpaste is going to cost you 0.5% lower than the rest of the United States. To a movie, going to a movie is going to be 11% less than the rest of the U.S. strangely enough, things like shampoo, you're going to pay about 13% more in Holly Hill than the rest of the US. I don't know why. It's just the way it is. Now, if you're grocery shopping, some things that break down, such as you're trying to buy ground beef, you're going to pay about 20% more in Holly Hill than you will in the rest of the US or surrounding areas. But a flip side to that, if you're buying pizza, you're going to spend about 8.5% to 9% less to get a pizza in Holly Hill. If you're going to the dentist in Holly Hill, look to spending close to 17% more to go to the dentist as compared to the rest of the US. But if you're going to the optometrist, you're going to spend 28% less than the rest of the US. And if you're going to a regular doctor, you're going to spend about 35% less. Now, transportation costs, the one we're talking about here is paying for gasoline. Unfortunately, in Holly Hill, you're going to spend about 1.7% higher on gasoline than you will other places in the US, and probably other places around the localized area. As far as utilities go, as far as paying for electricity every month, you're going to pay about 1.8% less. But as far as a phone and phone bill, you're going to pay about 1.3% higher than you will in the rest of the US. Now, for those that know me, I always like to look at an area, and when you're moving to an area or considering a move to an area, personally, I like to know what kind of green spaces there are, what kind of parks are available. Now, my house, my yard, whatever it may be a nice spot to hang out, great spot to hang out. Sometimes I want to know what kind of resources are available to me. So Holly Hill is fantastic for parks. Has parks along the river, has parks within city neighborhoods. And so there's plenty of access, whether it be a place you can fish or kayak, or maybe it'd be a place just to hang out with the kids, play on the playground, or maybe walk around a pond to kind of clear your head a little bit during a work break. Whatever it may be, Holly Hill offers tons of green space, what I call green space opportunities out there. Let's take a look at just a few of what's available to you in Holly Hill. Now the commute. What's the commute all about? So there's negatives and positives. I mean, Holly Hill is very, very walkable. You have access to multiple parks, which are probably within walking distance of your home. But as far as getting around, and we'll get into jobs in just a second, but getting around, a lot of people do drive a car. Now, if you're relying on public transportation, there are such as the Voltran transportation system, busing system around the area, which is readily available. Just keep in mind that whenever you take the bus, like any other place, it's typically half hour between stops or half hour between buses rolling up and showing up. And then it takes anywhere between 35 to 55 minutes to get around to your destination. So just be aware of that. Now, what's so good about Holly Hill is its proximity. So your proximity, like I mentioned before, 2.5 miles from Daytona Beach. So you're just to the north of Daytona Beach. You're about 2 miles, maybe 2.5 miles to the south of Ormond Beach. Another great spot to go, shop, whatever you want to do there. So that's also very, very good proximity. Now, the other thing is you're only about 60 miles to the northeast of Orlando. If you wanted to head over to Disney World, you could do so. It's about hour, 15 minutes to get there. Go to Orlando and all the busyness, and then make your way back safe to your small, quaint neighborhood and town city of Holly Hill. What's the job market in Holly Hill? Well, within the city limits, you're going to have things such as retail. You're going to have customer service jobs, sales associate jobs. In the healthcare realm, you're going to have such things as customer support, patient support. As far as like warehouse and logistics, you're going to find warehouse jobs, forklift driver jobs of that nature. And also there's a lot of gigs and a lot of like positions or side hustle positions you can have, such as delivering food, delivering groceries. So those types of jobs are available as well. Now, a huge pro to Holly Hill for one thing, well, guess what? It's in Florida, as we already knew that. So the days are sunny, 200 plus days of sunshine and very, very mild weather. Mild weather in the fall and winter months. Now, when I say mild, let's say like October, you're looking anywhere between 80 to 75 degrees, which is fantastic weather. And paired with the sunshine and lower humidity, it's very, very comfortable to be outside, to go for a walk any time of day, and go for a bike ride, walk the dog, whatever it may be. Very, very enjoyable. The winter months as well, fairly mild. You're looking maybe December, January. You could dip down into 65-degree weather, which could be chilly for some people. So it might require a sweatshirt and possibly some socks and sandals. That's completely up to you. Now, the other thing is about Holly Hill is its close proximity to the beach. It really is only about 3 to 4 miles away from the beach, right over the bridge to the beach side. And what's so great is that plenty of free parking, plenty of free access to the beach. Now, one of the most important factors for a family, that is a family with kids, when moving to an area is what are the school systems like? Now, Holly Hill does have a few schools within the Holly Hill city boundary. Those schools are United Brethren in Christ Academy, which is a private school and caters to kindergarten all the way through 12th grade. There's also Holly Hill School, which caters to kindergarten all the way through 8th grade. And if you have a high schooler that's a little picky, which is okay, you can send them to Seabreeze High School, one of my personal favorites. Seabreeze High School is actually on the beach side of, well, it's not so much Holly Hill, it's more towards the Ormond Beach area, but it does cater to 9th grade through 12th grade. Great spot because of its closeness to the beach and great academic grade, which I will share. So all these grades I'm going to share with you dealing with these schools come from niche.com. So it's not my opinion, it comes from niche.com, and I want to share those with you right now. Now, one subject that's kind of touchy, and I don't really touch on it too often, I don't talk about it too often, is crime. What is the crime rate in Holly Hill, Florida? Well, it's not actually too bad. It actually is on a number scale from 1 to 100, it ranks 26, which means it is 26% more safe or 26% safer than other US cities. Now, look at per capita. You actually have 13,000 people that live in Holly Hill. On average, yearly, there's about 235 crimes that take place in Holly Hill. And yes, about 40 of those are violent crimes and the rest are property crimes. So that is your breakdown. I typically don't talk about crime, and you might read things on the internet or someplace maybe offhand. Somebody makes a comment about Holly Hill being unsafe. It's not true. It's not unsafe compared to other US cities. To put the crime rate in perspective in Holly Hill, it actually is a pro, because per 1,000 people, Holly Hill sees roughly 14.9 per 1,000 people. Now, compared to Florida, Florida sees a little over 15 crimes per 1,000 people. So it's below the Florida average, and it's way below the actual national average, which actually is 20 crimes per 1,000. So the pro is the real numbers. You have a 1 in 67 chance of being a victim of a crime in Holly Hill. Compared to Florida, you have a 1 in 64 chance of being a victim of crime. Thank you for watching today. As always, if this is the first time to the channel, go ahead, hit subscribe and the bell so you'll never miss a thing about living in Holly Hill, Florida, or Daytona Beach, Florida, or any of the surrounding areas. And as always, if you're moving in 12 days, 12 months, 3 days to 3 months, if you're moving to Florida, give us a call, text, email, set up a Zoom video call, or leave a comment, because we will make your move memorable. Until next time, I'll see you at the beach.